Have you ever noticed that despite setting goals and trying hard to achieve them, you still face failure? Did you know that this might be due to the programming of your subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind stores information without discrimination, and it becomes harder to erase this information if it has been repeated too many times. In this video, we will discuss how you can reprogram your subconscious mind and acquire new habits by feeding new information into it. But you must watch this video till the end, because the technique we will share with you is very simple to do and is stronger than hypnosis. Dr. Joseph Murphy, in his best-selling self-help book, says, "As you sow in your subconscious mind, so shall you reap in your body and environment." Our subconscious mind is like the hard drive of a computer that stores information. It saves whatever information you feed it. But many of us unknowingly think negatively, and as a result, negative thoughts are passed to the subconscious mind, where we ultimately start experiencing negative outcomes. In today's video, we are going to discuss how you can erase negative thoughts and beliefs from your subconscious mind. Well, the subconscious mind stores thoughts. And based on these thoughts, it determines our attitude and affects our decisions or daily life activities. But the fact is, it saves the information without arguing. It doesn't discriminate between useful and trashy information. It simply saves everything. It learns through repetition. If we feed it the same information multiple times, it keeps overwriting it until the information gets etched in. And ultimately, it becomes harder to erase this information. Let's understand it with an example. Let's suppose you take a piece of paper and write on it, "I am not good enough." You keep writing this sentence on the same page again and again. The more you overwrite, the bolder the text becomes, and the harder it gets to erase it later. Let's look at another example. When you first learned to ride a bicycle, you found it hard to maintain your balance, but you kept trying and could maintain balance for 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, and so on. And finally, you were able to maintain the balance for longer periods of time. Because of the repetitions, your mind picked up what it takes to maintain balance. Once the subconscious mind learns, it falls back on the same information whenever it is required. So the next time you ride a bicycle, your mind automatically switches on the default bicycle riding program, and you successfully ride your bicycle without any problems. The interesting part is that if you learn to ride a bicycle in a faulty manner, you will continue to ride it in a faulty manner for the rest of your life until you practice again, erase the existing data, and feed new data into your subconscious mind. For example, there are people who find it difficult to drive a car while wearing shoes. They can only drive the car barefoot. This is because when they were learning to drive, they did so barefoot. So what does all this tell you? Once the information is saved in your subconscious mind, it becomes hard for you to erase it, especially if it has been repeated too many times. Yes, it is difficult to erase this information, but it isn't impossible. You can change your bad habits by erasing the information related to them. You can acquire new habits by feeding new information into your subconscious mind. You can learn new things, grow, and develop yourself. Simply put, you can change your whole life by making changes in the programming of your subconscious mind. The information lying deeply in your subconscious mind is always arrestable, but it takes extra effort. This is exactly the reason why bad habits are so difficult to break, and this holds true for both physical and mental habits. Physical habits equate to stuff that you do, like your daily routines. Mental habits are thought cycles, like your self-belief, your insecurities, and your view of the world. Now the question is, how can you rewire or reprogram your subconscious mind? As we have discussed, your subconscious mind is much like a computer's hard drive. We can always install new software or run new programs on the hardware. In a similar manner, we can reprogram our minds according to our needs. Hypnotists have been doing this for centuries, but the technique that I'm going to share with you here is stronger than hypnosis and is very simple to do. So let's see what this simple technique is. Well, the best method to alter the programming of the subconscious mind is awareness. As we know, we can't access our subconscious mind, so it's harder to know what sort of information it contains. So you simply need to be aware of the information that it contains, and then you will be able to make changes to it. Once you become aware of what information has been stored in it, the additional actions to make the changes follow automatically. First, we need to understand why the subconscious mind is called the subconscious mind is called the subconscious mind. It's because it lies below your level of consciousness. It is like an unacceptable control room where all the secret decisions are made but no one knows about them. You can't access this room or your subconscious mind. But as we have discussed, the moment you access and take control of it, everything goes well. Awareness is a habit, and the more you practice it, the more it becomes second nature. So the best technique to change the programming of your subconscious mind is to watch your thoughts. You see, in our daily lives, we are always lost in our thoughts. The goal is to detach from your thoughts for a few moments and watch them as a neutral observer for a single day. Thousands of thoughts enter our minds, but most of us don't consciously observe them. We are just lost in our thoughts. But now you have to consciously observe them. Your thoughts are a reflection of the programming of your subconscious mind. This practice can help you become aware of negative thought patterns. You will find yourself questioning your beliefs, thereby weakening the negative ones and consciously replacing them with positive ones. So how can you monitor your thoughts? It's simple and easy. Sit comfortably. Take a few deep breaths and calm yourself down. Start to become aware of your mind producing thoughts without engaging with them. If you find yourself getting engaged with a thought, take a moment to acknowledge that and return to watching if some thoughts produce strong emotions and you feel the emotions instead of superimposing the thoughts. Divert your attention within your body and feel the energy and emotions of these thoughts as you observe them. You become aware of your thought patterns, and it becomes easier for you to identify your negative thoughts. If you aren't comfortable with this technique or think you can't do it, I have another technique for you. This technique involves consciously feeling your emotions. Knowing what kinds of thoughts lead to what types of emotional responses in your body will help you better understand the thought. Emotion relationship. You may be able to do this to weaken and let go of strong, negative feelings. What I find works best is to consciously recreate emotional responses when you are by yourself. Let's suppose that you have severe anxiety in specific situations. For example, you feel anxious while sitting in crowded restaurants. These emotions of fear or anxiety come from some thoughts, such as everybody is looking at me. So here are some thoughts that are producing some emotions. When you are in such a situation, it becomes hard for your untrained mind to do anything. But there is a workaround. You can use this situation to train your mind when you get back home. When you are back home, sit for a while in a quiet place and recreate those feelings again by imagining such a scene. Just imagine a scene and play it in your head. Doing so will evoke similar emotions. This time, though, instead of being lost in your thoughts and overcome by emotions, you have a choice to consciously feel. Your emotions feel fully as they arise without becoming afraid of them. As you feel your emotions this way, they start to lose their power over you. Here, you're learning to recognize thought patterns and the physical reactions they produce. Existing thought patterns and the emotional reactions that go along with them begin to gradually disintegrate as a result of this understanding. The next time you go to the same restaurant, you'll be aware of when specific thoughts start to arise and how your body is feeling. You will notice that they have significantly weaker emotions because you have previously felt your emotions consciously and are aware of your thought patterns. If you keep doing this, you will lose power altogether. So in this technique, you have to observe your emotions in certain situations. After knowing that in certain situations, some thoughts produce negative emotions, you have to imagine the same situation but consciously feel different emotions. For example, if you feel anxious speaking to a crowd, imagine yourself speaking to the crowd. Imagine yourself speaking to the crowd without fear and confidently. Create a scene and play it in your mind again and again, but with positive emotions. Practicing this method on a daily basis will eliminate the negative thoughts, and a new pattern of negative thoughts will emerge in your brain that will allow you to behave differently in the same situations. That's how this technique can change your reality. Additionally, I have one more technique for you that you can choose to practice. If you practice multiple techniques at the same time, you will see quick results. This technique involves consciously observing your body. By becoming aware of your body, you learn your body's responses in particular situations and become able to relax your body and thereby aid healing. You might have some body parts that begin to tense up while you are engaged in some work or doing some activity. Let's understand it with an example. Assume a child wakes up from a nightmare and her father calls out her mother. Will he speak the same way he normally does? No. His voice will express that he is afraid. His body movements and his tone will express what's going on in his head. But this reaction or behavior is being controlled by the subconscious mind. You can't control it unless you have access to your subconscious mind. Now, what you have got to do is be aware of your body and your physical reactions in a particular situation, and you have to control them. Becoming conscious of your body enables you to control the movements, responses, and behaviors of your body. Let's look at another example. You unknowingly keep your hand very close to the fire. What will happen? What will be the response of your body? Because you did this unknowingly and unwillingly, your body will produce a reaction by default, according to the programming of your subconscious mind, and you will immediately move your hand away from the fire. But what if you do this consciously? If you do this consciously and knowingly, you will be able to control the response of your body and hold your hand near the fire for longer. That's what you've got to do with this technique. Constantly monitor your body. Don't allow it to do things by default. You can practice one of these 3 methods to erase negative thoughts from your mind. If you practice multiple techniques, it will enhance their effectiveness, and you will see quick results. It's our imagination and ideas that become reality. So if you can modify the pattern of thoughts in a certain way, you can manifest desired outcomes. It's always possible to break bad habits you've acquired since childhood. Similarly, it is always possible to change the pattern of thoughts. People use different methods, including visualizations or affirmations, to change their thought patterns. But these are some of the most effective and unique techniques. Joseph Murphy recommends these techniques in his books, and whoever practices any of these techniques manifests great results. When you monitor your own body's response to certain situations, your own decisions, and your own reactions, you can better understand your thought patterns. And when you understand them, you can change them. Adopt the exact opposite behavior or respond to the same situation differently. These techniques are really helpful. So if you really are willing to erase your negative thoughts from your mind or make certain modifications to your thought pattern, you can choose to practice these techniques